Hello everyone, and welcome to the session on applying for your first teaching post. My name is Liz Moran and I'm the Head of Performing Arts at Castleford Academy, and I'm a mentor for the Five Towns ITT partnership. Our Twitter information is in the corner of the screen, along with my contact details in case anyone would like any further information after watching this presentation. Today's presentation will take you on a journey through deciding on a career in education to starting at your first teaching job. So, why become a teacher? Teaching is an absolutely fantastic career. There are so many different paths to follow and opportunities to take part in. I think teaching is a particularly fantastic career for musicians, as you are doing music all day, every day. Not a day goes by where I don't sing or play piano, and even on the toughest days, that is something that I never take for granted. It is a lot of work, but it is incredibly rewarding, and certainly the effort that you put in at the beginning of your career pays off. Before you apply, make sure you have TES job alerts set up for any area or subject you would like to work in. Make sure you set this up as early as possible in the year so that you don't miss anything. But equally, don't panic if it gets to Easter and all your other trainee friends have got a job and you haven't. There's still time. When a job comes up that you wish to apply for, make sure you spend a lot of time on the application. It is understandable that you will use a similar personal statement for applying for different schools, but you must proofread this document several times to make sure you haven't left any errors. For example, putting the wrong school name. Also, make sure you personalise the application in some way so that they know you will suit the needs of that school. Make sure you get your application checked by your mentor in school as well. If your application is of a very high standard, you will hopefully be offered an interview. It is a very exciting feeling when you get an interview, and so it should be. This is your chance to show off all the teaching skills, techniques, and presence in the classroom you've developed over your training year, and to give yourself the best opportunity for you to be judged solely on these things. You should plan in advance what you are going to wear. You want to make sure you look professional with your clothes, hair, and makeup all being suitable for a job interview, so plan ahead. A lot of preparation goes into a teaching interview. And beware that often the interview is organised with a very short turnaround. And if you get told about an interview occurring the next day, then yes, that means you are going to have to spend the whole afternoon the day before preparing for it. Preparation is one of the keys to success. You will likely be told what you're expected to teach. Some schools will make it quite specific, and others will give you a more broad topic. You need to find out the year group and ability of the class if you aren't already told. But to be honest, it is all about preparation. Even if you are told they're a top set group, who's to say that you would be able to guess what their ability is for that school? You need to plan for all eventualities and create a starting point to your lesson that allows you to gauge how much the pupils know about that subject. You then need to plan what you will do if pupils' answers show you that they already know a significant amount of information about the topic, or the direction you will go in if they don't know anything at all. Or it might be that some do and some don't. So make sure you prepare for that as well. Pupils should be challenged at their level for the majority of the lesson. And I don't think you can use the excuse, I didn't know how much the pupils would know. You should make sure you prepare for all eventualities. I personally would only want to employ someone who is really trying and very prepared. This is not to say that you need loads of bits of paper. You don't. You just need to make sure you have a starter that very quickly gives you an indication of where the pupils are at and a plan of how you will progress depending on what the answers are to that. Practice this lesson. Yes, you might not have long to prepare, but in the car or on the train on the way to the interview, be talking through parts of the lesson. If you're in a placement school, it might be that you could practice the lesson in one of your classes. When you arrive at the school, you need to make sure you are careful how you speak and behave at all stages of the day, from the moment you arrive in reception to the end of the day when you leave, it is important that you conduct yourself in a professional manner at all times. Also, don't be put off by any other candidates. You might be quickly aware that there is an internal candidate or someone who is claiming they've had the best placement ever and they're best friends with the teachers there and they're walking around calling everyone by their first names. Do not let this intimidate you at all. The best teacher and overall candidate on the day will get the job. Be confident in yourself. Show an interest in the school and conduct yourself professionally at all times. This is what matters. Do not try and second guess what the interviewers are thinking, and don't compare yourself to the other candidates. When delivering the interview lesson, it is important that you get the pupils' attention at the beginning of the lesson in a confident manner. And when they're all silent, you can introduce yourself and make a start. The first thing you should do is set out your expectations for the lesson. In an interview lesson, you do not have time to familiarise yourself with the school's behaviour policy. So just have some clear, simple rules that you can tell pupils at the beginning. Here are some on the screen. So here's an example of the start of my interview lesson. Good morning, Year 7. My name is Miss Moran and I'll be taking your music lesson for today. In today's lesson, if you hear me count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, by 1, I need everyone to be silent. And when we're on the keyboards, I need to make sure that everyone is just using the volume and the on button and not touching any of the other buttons. Speak in a loud, clear voice and praise pupils whenever you can. Someone who sounds very engaging, has clear assertive expectations in the lesson, and has clearly prepared for all eventualities depending on the ability, is going to seem very desirable to an interview panel. Often in schools, the lesson is taught in the morning and some people are sent home after this and don't get an interview. So it is important that you put your all into this lesson. The interview is the part of the day where the school can get to know you better, your experience and your aspirations. You aren't sure exactly which questions will come up, but here are some common questions that you might want to consider preparing an answer for. Try and relax during your interview. The main reason you are there is for the panel to get to know you. Don't say anything for the sake of it or because you think that's what they want to hear. Often interview panels will keep their cards very close to their chests throughout the day. So if you don't get a good impression straight away, don't panic. There also may be some additional tasks to complete on the day. For example, in music, when we have hired staff, I have been very interested to hear them perform and complete a sight singing task. This is to get more of a holistic overview of a candidate. Again, nothing to worry about, just another opportunity to show off your skills. A lot of the time, you will find out on the day of the interview if you got the job or not. If you are unsuccessful in getting the job, make sure you gain some feedback. And the most important thing you can do is learn from the experience. I was absolutely devastated when I was unsuccessful in my first job interview, but I was able to learn from the experience and make it work out for the better as I got a job at the school that I love and still work at after 10 years. When you are successful in gaining the job, you should be really proud of yourself. Teaching interview processes can be full on. Before you start the job, find some time to go into school and find out everything there is to know about it. Get as far ahead with your planning as possible and discuss any extracurricular clubs you may want to run. When you start, prepare to work hard. There is a lot of work in starting at a new school. Setting up your lessons, getting used to all the systems. Make sure you ask for help whenever you need it and seek support. And remember, set out your expectations with each class. Do not presume all your classes will know how you would like them to conduct themselves. Introduce yourself and the expectations at the first of every single one of your lessons. If you are ambitious, then look for those opportunities to become an expert and lead on activities. Even just within your department, ask for a role to lead on. Then you have something that you can take to your line manager or even the head teacher if you wish to progress in a career path. At Five Towns, we have a really strong network to support anyone who has any further questions about the content of this video. My details are in the corner of the screen. Please do not hesitate to get in touch. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck and enjoy.